Alright, welcome to episode 53 of History Rewritten. In the last episode, we had a number of things happen. like this huge mess. The independence of all these countries, and don't worry, I will be attempting to clear up this thing, because especially, just like this entire area, absolutely hideous. So don't worry, we'll try and clear that. Proxy wars in Taiwan and also Japan, this actually looks pretty cool now. I think escalation over here in Oceania. Stuff happening in Oceania, that's crazy. We talked about the USB for a bit, and also possibly some more independence movements.
What are you doing?
Around the world, and we're going to see more of that in today's episode. That was my mum. Alright, so we're going to start starting off with an event happening in North America. I think, if I just find, I want to make a good colour. Anyway, it's going to be independence for Canada, so this is kind of Canada. I mean, I suppose Canada could also just be like this bit. But when you look at Canada, you kind of just see this huge mess of stuff north of Canada, so, oh well. And that's Canada now. I'm trying to find a good colour for it, but I don't really know. There's not really great ones. Oh, this isn't great, is it? No, it's not. Find your fucking colour, mate. Come on. Did this work? Don't ask the audience. Oh, I like that. That's great. Right. Anyway, so Canada is going to be given its independence. This thing, although, it's only been a few episodes since the other countries in this North American continent got their independence, it's kind of been withheld for a bit longer. Lots of support has gone into this thing, and that's generally because it's not going to be that powerful on the world stage. It's just a load of ice, really, and cold stuff. People aren't really expecting great things from this country, and there we go, there's Canada. You may be thinking, what about the Ellesmere Islands and all this sort of stuff? Well, deal with it. It's not part of this country, because it was controlled by the governor of Greenland, because they discovered it. It's a load of Greenland people, and they were like, oh, can we control those islands, please? And Norway was like, sure, I don't care. So the Canadians don't get to take those islands, they get basically the rest of them. So that's alright for the Canadians, I suppose. And they're also going to be putting their capital right. Let's just put it here. There we go. Good old Canadian capital. Speaking of capital cities, though, we've had the movement of another capital. And that is this Australian one. Now, I've already moved it because I was thinking, well, it shouldn't be there. And that is because this northern area, well, Australia could kind of be described a bit like modern-day South Africa, really. Because you've got the native people, or just the people who were here first in the north, who were the Indians. Sorry, basically ethnically, these guys. And in the south we have the Dutch, like the Boer guys. So the big divide like this. And of course, when the Indians beat the Dutch in World War One, the Indians made their colony back here again, but stronger. And that's kind of showing here again. And the northern group, they are in support of the northeastern Australians, because they were kind of allied an awful lot of the time. Whilst the south does not support the actions of this country, however, the government's like, no, this is bad. You shouldn't have atomic bombs, and we don't support your country, and we don't like your country. But also, the Australians would really like to get their own atomic bombs, because this country is also on track to become one of the strongest in the world. It is a good strategic position. Lots of investments went into this place. Of course, one day Australia is all of this, and Tasmania. So theoretically, it should be able to get stronger than our Australia. Like, none of these countries that we have are as big as our actual countries. Like, there's no US. The USB is nowhere close to Brazil either. Russia's nowhere close to Russia. It kind of is, but missing a lot of bits. China's nowhere near as big as our China. you know, even the UK isn't as big as our UK. So it's only really South Korea who's had a good time. I suppose North Korea, their capital is in the north, but I think a bit more of South Korea because they're more democratic. Anyway, so that's the Australian position, and they don't plan on getting on any sides within this war. So that's interesting. Anyway, looking over here to Oceania, we have more independent stuff happening. Nice. Because finally New Caledonia will be receiving their independence from the Irish. They've got a lot of islands in Oceania, just random scattered ones all about, and this entire island chain, South Vanuatu and New Caledonia, will be given its independence. And it's an interesting thing to happen, especially at this point, seeing as the North Vanuatu Islands, and just, I don't know, those bits over there, they recently joined the North, I want to say the North Alliance, because it's Northeastern Australia, North Vanuatu, and the Northern Philippine Islands. So these guys actually have a very strategical spot. So this country really wants to secure these guys on their alliance. It's kind of like, well, we should be able to do that. We've fought in lots of wars together. Our people, have been together before. That's good. And the Irish have made some pretty democratic colonies. Like up here in Canada, these places are some of the most democratic places in the world. I'd say Newfoundland is kind of like Ireland in the modern day, but a lot colder. So maybe Iceland in the modern day, in terms of the way people live. I mean, it's 1972, so not quite the same as how people live in modern day, but kind of living standards of modern day Iceland, but in 1972. That's Newfoundland, so it's the most democratic North American nation, I think. I could safely say that. I mean, maybe this one, but like, there's more crime going on here, and same with Quebec, and the Hudson one, and especially California. There's lots of stuff going on here. This one's pretty peaceful, actually. Cascadia, Vancouver thing. These Mexican ones aren't very peaceful, and that just reminded me of something. And neither's this Texan thing, because there's still some problems here. Same with Florida. But these are alright, this general area. So yeah, I don't know. This thing's just a load of mountains. And this thing's the Chihuahua Desert. Great. Anyway, back over to here. Yeah. There's that. We might see more escalation over here. However, the nuclear atomic powers, they tried to think of a way to help combat this escalation, and that's making the Nations Committee. What a bizarre name. Might change the name sometime in the future. However, they have their first meeting over here in Winchester, the capital of the UK. Great. Capital of Wessex back in the day, but not anymore because Wessex is gone. I don't really want it to come back because it's not good if all of this breaks away. Not good at all. So yeah, we have the Nations Committee set up, and the first meeting probably happens in like 1970, maybe. But it's between all the countries with atomic bombs, or like the main ones. So we have the UK, Russia, the Green Team, these guys. That's a 4. Leave me alone. I don't want it to accidentally have a giant number on my screen. China, Korea, and the UK. So the 6 of these guys gather around in Winchester and talk about stuff. How they can resolve these problems. And mostly, it's a load of people shouting at each other for like a month or so. So that's great. But more countries really kind of need to get involved, and it's countries who are kind of wondering about if they want to make atomic bombs, or nuclear ones possibly. Like the Terracotta Nation, Ireland, Iberia, France probably isn't really in there. And more countries are kind of wondering if they should get their allies in as well. In the most recent meeting, however, we've had the Northeastern Australians in, and they're kind of like, dude, you need to stop stressing everyone out. It's like, are you going to drop nukes on or atomic bombs? You drop bombs on other countries in this area, and they're like, our Mao. Maybe, maybe not. We'll just have to see how it goes, And the world's like, that's not a good response. No, that's not helpful at all. So, yeah, worrying stuff. Anyway, we might see some more movement from this area in the future, but back to Western Europe, because another country has just collapsed. Kind of. Multiple collapses today, actually. and it was the French country. So their colonies got independence recently, at least the Mexican ones did, and so did everything else, I believe, but that was like a while ago. Anyway, that was quite crushing to the French economy and the French religious stuff, because there's a lot of this southern religion in Mexico. It's like a highly Catholic Mexico. I mean, I didn't say the southern religion was Catholic, but it kind of is, just in the way I think of it is. But also it's polytheistic. Theistic. I can't talk apparently, but it's like Catholicism if there were multiple gods. That's the main idea, really. Anyway, we have the French selling some territory to their neighbours. Neighbour number one, who's receiving some territory? The Bretons. They've kind of decolonized. I mean, I'd say they would. I would kind of say they have. They still have a few islands over by Africa. And that's just because, like, those islands don't want their independence and they don't want to join another country. They're just happy being Breton at the moment. So the Bretons and their allies in the Western European Alliance, which, I mean, they're not in that alliance, but they're kind of aligned with it. Use these islands for like training and stuff in the Indian Ocean. So that's nice, I suppose. Also, I'm trying to make this border look good. That's not because it doesn't look good. I don't like it. No, that's alright. That's alright. Kind of. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't like this bit. I doubt you'd give them that city, you know. That's bound to be a really important tourist destination. But as you can see, yeah, the Bretons, they've finally done some expansion stuff. Oh, it's tolerable. And the other country who's going to be receiving some stuff is, of course, the Terracotta Nation. What a great country. You just see all of this. I love the Terracotta Nation. What a great guy. And now the French don't have a border on the English Channel, but it's alright, really. It's not that important anymore. You can go around. You've got planes. It's fine. Vibing. Why did I say vibing? However, another country will be getting in on this, as there might be some more countries than just this country. And it's interestingly enough the Swiss country, because I want them to do something for once. So that's nice. Go Switzerland with your one major city. Anyway, it's not war. The Swiss, I think, might have fought in one war, because, well, the Blue Swiss at least. I mean, the Lilac Swiss have fought in quite a few wars, actually. But there you go. There's your new borders. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Anyway, there we go. So, France lost some land to their neighbours. It's alright. It's not really great, but it's alright. Let's stay in this area. You know what? Why not just stay in this area? Because we've got another proxy war. And it's, whatever they're called, trying to be annoying. That's not good. The green team, they've kind of gone, oh, tell you what you should do. You should try and invade your neighbours. But that's later to come, as the Swiss nation, seeking support from their allies in the Arab Union, going, well, we'd like to invade this country, because we don't like them at all, although they are significantly stronger. However, they take this country by surprise, and pretty quickly manage to invade their capital city, and take this city. So that's nice. There you go. Well done to you. From here they start to cut across to their other northern city, up by the border of the Terracotta Nation, and the Terracotta Nation's like, dude, just stop fighting. The most aggressive Switzerland ever. And they reach the border of the Salmon Nation. This blue country is kind of like, we need to get our act together, guys, because we're not winning this one. And there's the rest of your city. There you go. However, I was talking about another country joining this war because the green team motivating them to. That is, of course, the Salmon Nation. You know, the green team's like, hey, remember me? I caused you to lose most of your stuff. That was fun, wasn't it? How about we do it again? So the Civilisation is going to be coaxed into this war because this is easy land. I'm just imagining, how would this look? Oh, those borders. That is bizarre. Anyway, so these guys. Oh yeah, I remember now. I understand it now. There we go. And the Civilisation will move into the remainder of the country and take this bit. However, the green team's like, dude, you could get so much more land than this. Just invade the Swiss country. So they do that, and they take a lot of these provinces, and they actually manage to reach the border of the Swiss country. And the Swiss are like, what? What is this about? I thought we were on the same team. I was like, oh, you were in World War II, but a lot of things have changed since then. See, it was like 30 years ago. So the Swiss are still occupying certain areas of this country, or this old thing. But now the Salmon Nation has moved in towards Switzerland, and they're nearing this city. So that's pretty scary. And they've managed to surround it and capture the city. The Swiss are not doing great. And interestingly enough, out of this piece of wreckage, this guy, whatever country it is, will rise up and start to occupy areas of the Swiss country, even occupy areas from this Salmon Nation thing. From there, they start doing pretty well. They take this major city back from the Salmon Nation, and the Swiss are just like, why me? They're asking the Blue Swiss for help. The Blue Swiss are actually of this religion, the northern one. So the Blue Swiss are like, yeah, stuff you. Also, I'm meant to be neutral, so I say absolutely nothing. Although they're all going, haha, scumbag. And you can easily invade over this lake and just take the capital, get some more free land like this. But they don't, because they're nice like that. However, this country, they're going to be starting to push into the Salmon Nation, and it's all kind of falling apart for the Salmon country. Because guess who's back? The Swiss one. And this time they're trying to work together with this country because, like, Salmon Nation, you ruin my ambitions, and if you manage to take you down, then you can just easily take down the other thing. So they start their invasion towards this city, and that goes relatively well, you know. As for the northern one, it's just a load of plains, so that's okay. Bit grass. However, this war is kind of getting out of hand. The Swiss go back up north and take this stuff, and by now this country is realizing, oh no, we're surrounded again. Because guess what? You are actually surrounded again. Their ambitions got ahead of them, and yeah, they recollapse. The Swiss manage to push out over this city, and a defensive line is held over here. However, the Salmon Nation pushes them back over there, and in the end, it's just like, hey, Green Team, just go away from European politics. I'm sorry for that. Just gave you a headache. And in the end, they will decide to go for peace. Because basically, they just took a lot of stuff from themselves. I don't think you had that problems. I think it was one of yours. You have that back then. Right, so the Swiss managed to invade quite a lot of areas of this Austrian thing. And really, I just want them to fix their borders. And that's not why I caused this war. It was because I need European proxy wars. And this country used to be part of the Green Team Alliance, so it makes sense for them to be in it. So do these guys, but now they're more of an Arabic ally, so yeah. They're a changed person now. They were, I think, originally a rebellion from the Italians, who went over the Alps and said, this is great, let's live over here. And the Italians are like, okay, who cares? Then they collapsed. I mean, in the Plague they had a rebellion, some Austrian thing, and then I think that attacked the Italians, and then the episode after the Purple Team collapsed, everyone just ganged up on it and took all their stuff, including the Istrians, you know, your dark past of the Istrian country. Anyway, these guys will be taking some land over here, whilst these Swiss will be taking some stuff around there. Nice border exchange. You're going to take this city, and these guys will be allowed to reach out towards this lake. All seems pretty fair. Except for this bit. This bit's revolting. I don't like it at all. It's like extreme exchange program for this country, as I try to better their borders. Look at this general area. It's just extremely ugly, except for the Salmon Nation, who was alright really. And they also got off quite well in this war. I mean, they lost, and there's another country at some random lake. Also, they gained another city. I mean, that's definitely a positive victory for them. Positive elixir trade. Nice. You should play Clash Royale. Not sponsored. I feel like I said that in the last episode. I need to varietize my speech. Anyway, does that look alright? I'm not sure you really gained anything, did you? You know, peace treaties, they're difficult things. Does that look horrible? Kinda. That's kind of what I intend for some bits there. That works. And you know, the green team is kind of realizing now, if we want to cause havoc in Europe, all we need to do is just go call up some countries who are kind of undecided in their, where they lie, like politically, and just go, hey, how would you like to fight some wars against your neighbours? So, although the yellow team has now moved towards a more Arabic alignment, and so are these guys, they're kind of moving towards more of a, and they're in the middle, they're not really sure. The green team is going to go to the Sludge Nation and be like, how would you like to invade these countries, you know? They've got lots of claims in the Estonian area and the surrounding 3 states, and none of them have joined the Russia alliance, although they're aligned with the Russians, they haven't officially joined it. How are the Sludge Nation going to go, no, go away, don't want your kind here, get lost. And the green team's kind of hurt by that, because they thought they'd help in a war. So they are, what's the word? I want to say rebuked. Well, it's kind of like rebuked. Rejected by the Sludge Nation, who's turned into a more Western ideal. They're not entirely allied with the Terracotta Nation, because they're not great friends with them. However, the Russians, they're pretty good friends with, so that's interesting. Anyway, moving down to Ethiopia, another country just collapsed. And unfortunately, it's this random blue one. Sad days. And the surrounding countries are of course going to take their land, because countries aren't very nice to people, really. We have this country. What's we got? This. What? What? You jab. What? What? There we are. And also this blue country, and they're all going to get together to divide up this thing. So, how's that going to look? I don't really know. Because the thing's all off. This country basically tried to convert its economy. It invested a load of stuff, and that proved to be extremely unsuccessful. It got destroyed really. They invested in this huge building thing. It all fell apart. All their machinery got destroyed, and they could have went, oh damn. And then everyone wanted their loans back, and they went, oh no, that's no good. And effectively, the entire country just collapsed. So various regions break away, and these guys are all just going to get on dividing up this thing. So, you have something that looks like this. And the Ethiopian, Somalian, this guy, will get the remainder of the territory. Okay. However, the blue Ethiopian country still isn't really that happy. They're not very content with how everything's gone. Their old enemy is back, and they've got more enemies. Just like all these guys that they want to unite into their country, they're like, dude, you've got land that's mine. It's in mine for ages. Like, literally thousands of years. So how would you like to just rejoin our country and make everything better again? It's going to be a lot nicer if we all just united. You know, bam bam, did all this, wonderful. Look great. And then we could go after these guys, and then, you know, bring back the great Ethiopian Empire. why don't we do that? You know. However, these countries aren't down for that idea, and unfortunately, Ethiopia is going to get itself into a bit of a proxy war, because that's the stylish thing at this point. Yep, this man is kind of just like, are you in a proxy war? Well, you better be, because it's a lot of fun. It's not a lot of fun. What am I talking about? Anyway, they are receiving support from the Arabic Union because they're right over here, and also they've been allies for a long time. The Arab Union has moved closer to this North African alliance, and they were historically part of this alliance. Also, like, the Arabs occupied this country, they don't like them very much. They had this island. I don't know who owns that island anymore. Apparently it's the Cretans, so I suppose it would be this green country, so they're kind of on that island back, probably, but it doesn't really matter all that much, though. Anyway, this country, oh yeah, no more capital. Wait, can I'm trying something. The ancient arts. Nope, that does not look right. They were briefly revealed to me, and then I completely forgot them. Oh, there you go, that's good enough for a city. So you get the most out of this, but that country had one major city, so yeah, it's one of the poorest countries in the world. It just immediately collapsed. Anyway, back on with the proxy war thing. You're being funded by these guys, and interestingly enough, this country is being funded by, you guessed it, the green team. So it only leaves one more choice. Who are you guys being funded by? Can you guess it? It's the Russians. Yeah, I mean, also receiving funding from the Bretons, because the Bretons actually really like this place for some reason. So that's interesting. However, we have the blue country moving in towards both these countries because they're like, hey, I want my land back. Better hand that over. So they took all this land, it's newly gained land, and all this newly gained land that isn't defended, nor full of industrial stuff. There's nothing there anyway. It's really poor. So they move across their northern border over here and take this major city, and over here they move across the southern border. These countries are going to go to their respective funding guys. Like, hey, money, equipment, gimme, I want it. And they're like, don't you worry, I've got just what you need. Because you're fighting a war in my name and spreading my ideology everywhere. And that's what I'd love to see. The Ethiopians are, are of course a lot stronger than these countries. You have 3 major cities, and you have 4. They have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, that's rather a lot. And they've taken a load of your stuff. So they're now all the way up to 12. I can do maths right. Anyway, sorry about that. It sounded very... I am a member of the aristocracy. That's what it sounded like. Anyway, I need help. These guys are going to push around taking this major city, however they don't manage to take all this random stuff. And these guys will do a similar sort of thing until the proper funding arrives from the Bretons, going through this country, I suppose. The Bretons aren't doing proper funding. Don't worry. The Bretons aren't doing all that much, really. It's just that they're receiving 2 sources now. 2 sources of funding, so that's important. And these guys will try and do a similar thing, taking this area. And then these guys go, hey, there's some people over there. Let's just move into this bit and take all this land. So they do that. And unfortunately, they've just moved into a bit of land that is these guys' territory. They're gonna go, right? Don't do that. Nobody likes it when you do that. And interestingly enough, they get into a war. Who expected that? You did. Because that's how these proxy wars work. They have to get into a 3-way war. Anyway, these guys start pushing into the border of this country, heading for their major cities and their capital city, which is over here by this random lake. I think this is the stuff that's like, in 4 million years, East Africa will have formed the newest continent. You know, you can kind of see, like, you've got all these bits. That's kind of how it look. I think that's what all these rift bits are about. Anyway, who knows? The geographical people. And now this country is not doing great. You know, they're receiving support through these areas, and they're having to pay a huge price to get it to go through those areas. So it's not really worth it, actually. And in the end, the two militaries of the light blue and the greenish country will meet up in this area, and they're like, hey, we're gonna scrap. Because these forces really want that capital city, and he managed to take it, so that's good. However, their advance doesn't stop there, because they've finally managed to push these guys out of their country. It only took them absolutely ages. These guys are going to move around them, however, and try and encircle these forces because they go behind their new front lines, and they're moving pretty close towards the capital and also their major cities down here. So it's not great, and you've got occupied areas over there, and these areas manage to break away before people start rushing down towards this major city and actually capture it. This country is exhausted, however they receive lots of support through this port they've just captured, but that doesn't last very long because they return through there, and from here the blue Ethiopians are going to capture all those areas. They're exhausted, however. You know, they've caught a load of stuff and they're just going to occupy this. You know, this is good. Before these guys move in, take this, and in the end they just agree to peace. So that's nice of them, I suppose. And let's have a look at this little peace treaty that we've got. It's bound to be a really terrible one, don't you worry. Anyway, Ethiopia is going to get the most from this because they don't really lose all that much. Nobody really invaded them at all, actually. Possibly not at all. So they get quite a significant amount of territory. Also, might gain some more than that. But we'll have a look in a sec. These two are going to have to switch some territories that they both claim, because of course, all of Africa has got claims on every single other bit of Africa, because colonial stuff kind of causes a few problems sometimes. I mean, not always, but sometimes. I mean, these countries are a lot more industrialized than they would have been. Like the Ethiopians, if they continued on that track, they would have done a lot worse, generally. They would be weaker, probably be about the same. I mean, maybe not. They probably generally would have just been weaker. However, with the funding they received from the Greeks, and like the investments the Greeks put in towards their country, it helped improve their economy, and just improve their living standards and stuff like that. This was beneficial, however it does mean that they hate a load of people for no particular reason, including their own selves. So that's great. I'm also just going to spice up this border a little bit more with this bit over there. Because, I mean, straight lines are pretty cool. But why not add some squiggly ones as well? Over here we have these guys in the north receiving this bit of territory around this major city, and in the south you guys get all of this stuff. And generally, who profited the most out of this war? This country. Although that actually might be yet to be decided, because another country is going to be actually profiting an awful lot from this war, and that country is naturally the green team. Because guess which country just became communist? The one I drew the seal. Yeah, this one. The communist one. So green teams have had another country join their alliance, along with all the rest of them. I don't know, the rest of the gang. You guys. The grey country. And probably somebody else that I'm missing. But who knows? Am I missing one? I don't think so. But you've also joined their alliance now, and Ethiopia, I mean, they're kind of considering joining the Aegean alliance, or maybe this one. They have more claims, however they're doing pretty well at securing territory in this area, so it's looking good for them. But good for the green team, I suppose. Anyway, I said I'd make Africa better today, and we're going to do just that. First off, we have this blue country invading the yellowish one, taking their capital city very quickly, and then moving into the rest of the country. Boom, bish, bash, bosh. full annexation because this thing can't survive. Boom. Quick fire wars. Probably not as quick fire as this one. Nice. Moving along to somewhere else. We have another country collapse, I think. And that country didn't actually... Well, not collapse, no. I might do that one later. Yeah, we'll look at that one in a sec. This country is first going to be invading this little thing down here, along with help from this country. So I need to find both these colours now. Is this the right one? It is. And is this right? It is. I'm just too good. Anyway, I'll spare you the details. They just move into this country and take the stuff. How about we do that? Alright, nice. Nice and easy. You guys get a coat. That's not very fair, is it? That's not very fair. Yeah, because you get a coastline. And you'd have gotten the major city. The capital city. I think that's not fair at all. Anyway, so these guys get more economical stuff, but getting a coastline is more an investment than getting somebody else's major city or capital city generally. But yeah, they should be able to really economically benefit their country, so that's nice. Moving along, we do have another country collapsing, and it's this Saharan mess. Wonderful. Starting up here in the north, because we're going to have all their neighbours just taking some stuff. We first off have this lovely Colorado box getting some more territory, and unfortunately they're not going to stay as a Colorado box for all that long. Although they do of course annex this with a straight line, it means the borders aren't entirely... What is this? What? I think there's something wrong. Oh well. Yeah, their borders aren't entirely straight on all the sides. Although their recently annexed bit is straight. Yeah, it's an alright. However, don't worry, they're doing a peace treaty thing, so they can sort out this side. And the pink country is a bit stronger, so they, for a price, allow them to take this bit of land, just to improve their borders. Of course, they can't really do it with the grey team or the pink country, because, well, they could with the pink country, I suppose. So they might do that. Alright, fine. They buy some more land. That'd make it all better for you. Just had to make sure they had some straight line borders. So the grey country kind of ruining it for everyone else. All the viewers in a grey team, you ruined it for them. Anyway, as for the rest of these countries, we have you guys getting all of this stuff. You guys move in for all this territory. You're gonna go for all this. You can probably get a bit more than that. We have this one, which I think might actually be the strongest out of all these countries, taking the capital city because they're strong. You can also get this bit, and that's for the two of you. You can get that bit, and you can get this weird pokey up bit. Because I don't know, why not? Right, nice. Making some horrible borders in West Africa. What's new? I don't know. Literally nothing. Oh no, it's a different orange. That's unfortunate. I'm bemused. I am bemused. Where did this orange come from? I should be more professional at this, but I'm really not. What's going on? What in hell's name is going on? Oh, there you go, I think that was their old colour. I don't know about this orange. It's confusing me. And I don't like it. Oh well, it's orange now. Who cares? Probably all of yours. Oh well. We've got quite a few orange countries around the world, and we may get some more in the future, so that's great. beige country, you can get this stuff. Oh, it's too dark. Anyway, we'll have to stop this video pretty soon. I just wanted to try and lessen the amount of countries in this area. I think it was 22 nations that they created after the independence of this area, so I wanted to make sure there were less than 22 of them here, because that's an awful lot of countries, and we don't need that many to deal with in this area. You know, if I need more, I'll just create them. You can quite literally go, you collapse, this region of your country wants independence, all that sort of stuff, and just go bam, that happens, and you can't question it or stop it, viewer people, all these countries, as a matter of fact. So there is that, except for you guys, you need to, oh, okay. You need to get some stuff, and I think they are now the only African country with 3 major cities. The one to their right has 2, but yeah. They're really economically powerful, at least for an African state. They have a coastline, some interesting bits of territory, ugly borders, but they're pretty rich though. Poor blue country. Anyway, so hopefully that looks slightly better. Not really. This general bit here is still just not great. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's just... hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you again next time. Have a nice rest of your day. Goodbye.